Good morning and welcome back to Vanguardian News. I'm your host, Mahfouz Al Qadir, and I hope everyone is mentally at a better state today than than they were yesterday, actually, after the events that took place at the Capitol. It was breached by thugs, rioters, mob, terrorists. Throw any adjective that you want to throw in there. Um, I've warned people about this. You can check my videos. I just made a video about this a couple weeks ago about this soft coup that was going on and the language that was happening. And it just seemed like the so called leaders, which we don't have in the White House or in the Republican Party, continue to be complicit in everything this president did because they didn't want him to turn on them. And they knew he had 74 million votes in his pocket. They kissed up to Trump supporters. And so what you have is an insurrection. And that's totally what it is. Please do not let people try to move you off that and try to play these Jedi military mind tricks, which they're doing today, especially the left. I mean, not the left, the right. Now, was it in the same mode of Pearl Harbor? I'm not going to go that far. 9/11? No, I'm not going to go that far. But blood was spilled. 4 people lost their lives. One lady was killed. A former military personnel woman was shot as she attempted to breach the congressional doors of the Capitol. And she was shot. And I'm sure she didn't come down here to get shot. I'm sure what she thought she was doing was fighting for whatever piece of information that she had, and she took it and ran with it, which was lies. I'm not here to make disparaging comments against someone who's lost their life. You don't ever want anybody to lose their life, especially over a president who doesn't really care about them. The president put those people in harm's way yesterday. They were riled up. He riled them up. He told them to go down there and make your voices heard. He told them that you can't sit back and be relaxed about the situation and take it. You have to be disruptive. He used words like that. And this is what you got. This man does not care about America. And you have Russia, who's probably in that crowd. Russia operatives who are probably in that mob, those terrorists. You had the enemy there too. The enemy within. The enemy that was in those uniforms that were complicit in letting those terrorists inside the gates, inside the doors of the White House. They opened the doors. I've seen footage of officers chumming up with them, taking selfies with them, being chummy. I've seen other officers who were cornered and trying to use any type of survival tactic and to fend off this mob. I saw one officer who had a sidearm. He was looking for a baton. He was trying to keep people back, keep them at bay as much as possible until he was able to get some backup, thank God. But the main question is today is how weak are we in this country as far as the police, And why wasn't the National Guard called? I can understand the military not being there. After all, the commander in chief was the ones who initiated this riot. His words. And what did he say? I will be there right by you. No, he wasn't. He was in the White House, looking, sitting back. One only knows what was going through his mind when this was happening. Maybe something dawned on him at a moment that said, oh, man, what did I do? Well, it's too late. Blood was spilled. Blood was spilled. It's too late. So, I don't know. I've heard talk of invoking the 25th Amendment. People need to read that, particularly Section 4 in the 25th Amendment. His cabinet members will have to go along. They're a bunch of lackeys. The Senate will never do it. So you have 13 days with this guy in office. And the country is in peril. And these cowards like Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, who was down there pumping his fist and had his pom-poms on, cheering him on. He thought it was cute. And then he tried to get on the Senate floor and tried to justify his reasoning for protesting the results of the 2020 presidential election. He wants to be president. He's a wannabe Trump. He's trying to ride the wave. He's a clout chaser. That's all he is. He's a clout chasing senator. Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. He's another one who stood complicit. And now all of them now want to come out and say, oh, Lindsey Graham, oh, enough is enough. Ooh, Mitch McConnell. Now all of them, they all want to be like, oh, no, we didn't want it. We didn't want this. This was not what we wanted. But your rhetoric and the president's rhetoric, all campaign, going back to May, go back further than that, going back to the Obama, the birther thing. You understand what I'm saying with this guy? You have a madman as the president of the United States. He's a madman. He's dangerous. And he has nuclear codes. I don't understand. You had the Pentagon a few miles away. Navy Yard a few miles away. Didn't they take an oath to defend this country? I understand the commander-in-chief have to give them the orders. Where was the generals? At some point, I don't know, maybe I need to go back and re-examine. Maybe I need to go back and understand what the military job is. Now, I know they don't want to. They're not police. When they come in for destruction. I understand that. But this was horrid yesterday. These people were out of control. You have a Confederate flag inside the Congress. A defeated battle flag flying inside the Congress. Nooses around statues with MAGA hats. These people have been lied to. This is a cult. I saw people of all colors, though. I saw people of different colors. Obviously, majority of them that I've seen from my eye. I wasn't there. Just the footage that I've seen were Caucasian. These people do not follow the law. These people are reckless. They are terrorists. They are the enemy of the state. And you have a president who's in control and have access to nuclear codes. Where are we at? Where are we at? Now, to be fair, yes, there were riots all summer long, sparked off by the George Floyd murder on TV that people saw, that the officers planted his knee on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and some odd seconds. 8 minutes and 46 seconds, I believe. You have a country that, I'm going to say it again, it's in peril right now. It's an insurrection. They're insurrectionists. They don't like the laws of this country. They don't like the government of this country. They want to overthrow the government of the United States of America. And your president of the United States is their leader, the ringleader of all this. And he sits back on the sidelines and he tells people, and I will be there standing right by you. Where were you? Where were you? It took President-elect Joe Biden to call him out, as he should, and say, hey, yo, Mr. President, yo, these your folks. You got to say something, man, before it gets really ugly. He finally did. And it was weak. Leave peacefully. You're good people, great people. I love you. These are words that he used. I'm paraphrasing on some, but I love you? Rooting them on to march down to the capital of the United States of America? And the Capitol Police allow the Congress to get breached with little resistance? Not all. But where was the organization? The few there that were fighting for their lives with this mob, this rabid mob. Where was the flank from the side? Where was the military or the tactical maneuvers? Your brethren was out there on their own against thousands of people trying to hold this mob off from taking the Capitol. Where was the all points bulletin at? You had a curfew. I saw people out there way beyond the curfew. I've been telling you about this guy, President Trump, for a few videos now. To people who tuned in, we have an issue. White supremacy in this country is out of control. It's been allowed to fester, and it's been bubbling, and it all started, basically, because Obama occupied the White House. Remember the Bertha issue. Remember the Tea Party, the vileness of them. And then the Tea Party comes into trumpeters. These are all the same people. They're all the same people. I mean, if you people are still in denial about what's going on, there's two Americas here. And what was trending, the main thought, what was trending yesterday, if these people were African American or darker hue, let alone let them have been Muslims. Oh, they would have been snipers on the roof. They would have been like shooting fish in a barrel with no apologies. But because these people were trumpeteers and that they have established the 74 million votes, we're going to handle them with kid gloves. We're going to allow them to march into the Congress, sit in offices of the secretaries. I mean, sitting office. Nancy Pelosi's office. You have this guy who's got his propped in her chair with his feet on the table, like he's a boss, relaxing, chilling. Marijuana smoke was all in there. People had a good old time in there. They had a party. And a woman lost her life, unfortunately. And that goes on Trump's hands. That goes on Senator Hawley's hands. That goes on Senator Ted Cruz's hands. And everyone else who's complicit in this madness, in this assault on America. They should all be charged with treason. And if it was a way that you can deport them, which I know you can't, but that's how angry I was yesterday. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. The bottom line is we African Americans would have been molded down, gunned down, gunned down. And that footage of them getting gunned down, if it was African Americans, would have been put in our public school systems for years and decades to come. Just like the marches in Alabama and Selman and all over our great state, this great country. Look at us now. The country is not going to come together until you get this racial thing under control. Isn't it ironic because a black senator was elected, first black senator was elected in Georgia, that hours after that, and a Jewish gentleman was elected in Georgia, and then hours after that, you had the madness. Is it a coincidence? Am I off base? The Republican Party have no power. They have no power. I said it was over for them. It's over for them. It's sad. It was a sad day. America was defeated yesterday. It was defeated by Trump. Trump and his trumpeteers and his Trump party. The Trump party defeated America yesterday. And we had some officers in uniform that was complicit in allowing these people to have a party and carry Confederate flags and breach the White House. I mean, not the White House, and breach the Capitol. Sad. But just over the summer, you had the National Guard in ready mode on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial when the Black Lives Matter was protesting for racial equality. Where was that yesterday at the Capitol? Where was the so called security? This is a joke. It's sad. The enemy is within. And if you don't believe that, just look at the news online, wherever you get your streams, whatever you get your fix news wise. Look at the footage. Look at the madness. Look at the eyes. Look at the vileness and their anger. Look at the visceral and these still pictures of these trumpeters. Look at them. I want you to examine their eyes. These madmen. These loose cannons. Well, that's it for me. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it. Subscribe don't cost you a thing. That way you can get the notifications when I upload a video. All right. Let's have a better day today. God bless.